Higher Learning is a show about adults learning interesting facts while under the influence of marijuana. This show is filmed in Vermont where it is legal to smoke. The staff involved in the show want to be clear that we do not support its use by those too young or where it is illegal to partake in such behavior. While this show doesn't show the usage of drugs or use coarse language, it is not intended for children. Parental discretion is advised. Now, let's get to the burning and learning. Welcome to Higher Learning, a class in disjointed education, the show where my pothead son comes in baked. I read him 25 actual facts, and then a week later, I will come back in here when he's sober and quiz him on these questions.
I'm hoping I do much better on these ones.
Yeah, it was what, 54 and 64?
64 and 54, yeah.
Yep. Those are still the same two numbers.
Something.
Anyway.
One of those.
Wow, man, you're not good. This week, because it's getting close to Halloween, we figured we'd do some Halloween facts. This was actually an idea he had. I don't think he was smart enough to try to research Halloween so he could have this information.
Nope.
But that's good because I don't want him cheating. Let's see. Americans spend more than $100 on Halloween per person. In 2021, last year, the National Retail Federation estimated that the Americans spent on average $102.74 on Halloween-related items, including costumes, candy, and decorations, per person.
That sounds about right, actually.
The world's heaviest jack-o'-lantern weighed 2,350 pounds.
Where was this? Any idea where that was?
Yeah. The pumpkin made its debut at the Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off in Half Moon Bay, California, October 12th, 2020. And it wasn't your average jack-o'-lantern. It featured an elaborate tiger design.
I'll have to wait, but I gotta see that.
In Germany, it's tradition for people to hide their knives on Halloween night. The goal is to prevent the returning spirits from getting injured, which is weird. You'd think it'd be from them injuring you, but nope.
All right.
Americans used to celebrate the holiday by sending Halloween cards. In the early 1900s, before the telephone was invented, Halloween cards were about as popular as Christmas cards.
That's weird.
Yeah, I've seen Halloween cards. I've never thought to send one.
Dear Mr. Johnson,
Trick or
I'll
treat.
be knocking on your door in 3 days. What?
Anyway, Stephen Clark holds the record for the world's fastest pumpkin carving time, 24.03 seconds. His previous record was 54.72 seconds.
Okay.
So he
the problem
cut it
with
in
that
less
fact,
than half.
The problem with that fact is it doesn't tell us what he carved it into.
Probably just a regular jack-o'-lantern. I don't know. They probably had some sort of standard for it. There's a reason why black and orange are associated with Halloween. Orange signals the harvest of autumn, while black is a symbol of darkness and acts as a reminder that Halloween once was a festival that marked the boundaries between life and death. The origins of Halloween date back 2,000 years to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, which was celebrated October 31st on the eve of their New Year, according to the History Channel. The Celts believed that the dead returned to Earth that night, and so they lit bonfires and donned costumes to ward off the ghosts.
They think ghosts are afraid of spooky ghouls and stuff?
Apparently.
That's silly.
The name Jack-o'-lantern is rooted in an Irish folktale about a man named Stingy Jack who fooled the devil and was in turn forced to walk the earth with only a burning coal and a hollowed-out turnip to light his way. The Irish began to call him Jack of the Lantern, and then just Jack-o'-lantern.
That's great.
Trick-or-treating was inspired by the medieval English tradition of souling, which involved children going door to door on All Souls' Day, offering prayers for residents' deceased loved ones in exchange for food.
Huh.
There was a time when trick-or-treaters did not receive candy at all, but rather pieces of cake, fruit, nuts, coins, little toys. It wasn't until the 50s when candy makers began to promote their goods for Halloween. Then candy became a staple of the season.
Let them eat cake.
Basically. According to the National Retail Federation, scary costumes still reign supreme. In 2020, the top Halloween costumes for adults were... The top 5 were Witch at number 1, Vampire number 2, Cat number 3, Batman number 4, and at 5, Ghost. For adults. For kids, obviously, well, we'll get into that later, actually. According to CandyStore.com, Skittles topped the candy list last year, followed by Reese's Cups and then Starburst, as far as people's favorites. And I don't like living in a world where Skittles is above. Like, I like a Skittle, but to
Who
put
did it? Candy.com?
Well, they did. It was voted on by the people and the sales of the candies.
Okay.
More people.
I disassociate with people.
Anyway. Also, according to CandyStore.com, the most recent top 10 worst Halloween candies list. More people hate it than love it. Candy corn. Yeah.
Gotta love it.
But to be fair, it also the same year made the top 10 Halloween candies list, the top 10 best. So the debate's not over, unfortunately.
It'll never be over.
It's crap.
It is.
It is garbage.
Some of the best crap.
No, it's awful.
Garbage.
Many people enjoy embracing the spooky spirit of Halloween, but for some, the fear is not good fun. Some people suffer from Samhainophobia, or fear of Halloween.
Just stay inside. All you have to do is not trick or treat.
The little bastards come knocking on your door.
Just don't answer.
Turn your porch light off. In Hollywood, using silly string on Halloween gets you a $1,000 fine.
Where?
Hollywood.
What about it?
They want you to register your silly string.
Is it like more on other days or less?
No, it's just that day. Using silly string on Halloween because people use it to like cause damage, right, exactly.
The next rain will get rid of it.
The song Monster Mash was banned in the UK when it came out. The BBC banned the 1962 hit song from airplay that year because they thought it was too morbid. The Halloween favorite didn't become a graveyard smash in the UK until it was finally allowed to be released in 1973. It was 11 years later.
No. What part of that song is morbid?
There were monsters.
They were happy monsters. They weren't even faithful.
There was a sequel
monsters.
where they attacked Santa Claus for Christmas. Oh yeah, the monsters holiday. It was good.
They attacked him?
Oh yeah, they kidnapped him and wanted to take all his stuff. It was the same monsters, same guy, Boris, whatever.
Karloff?
Yeah.
No. Wait.
Anyway, number 17 here. Let's see. Harry Houdini died on Halloween 1926. The world-famous magician and illusionist died October 31st after his appendix burst. He was rushed to the hospital after a performance on the night of October 24th in 1926 in Detroit, Michigan. He died a week later from peritonitis, or inflammation of organs caused by organ leakage. The world's longest haunted house is 3,564 feet long. It's a haunted cave located in Lewisburg, Ohio, 80 feet underground. I want to go now.
Ooh.
That sounds pretty sweet. It is the most commercially successful horror film of all time. The 2017 film, so it'd be Chapter 1, based on Stephen King's classic horror novel, grossed $700,381,759 worldwide. Some Halloween rituals used to involve finding a husband.
Oh.
During the 18th century, single ladies devised Halloween traditions that would supposedly help them find their romantic match. Women used to throw apple peels over their shoulder, hoping to see their future husband's initials in the pattern when they landed. When they bobbed for apples at parties, the winner would supposedly be the next one getting married. And most spookily, they even used to stand in a dark room holding a candle in front of a mirror to look for their future husband's face to appear in the glass. If I'm alone in a room and a face appears in my mirror,
I'm
I'm
smashing
not
the mirror 7
marrying
years
that
or not.
person.
Well,
I'm just not.
yeah, definitely not.
There's a traditional Halloween bread in Ireland. It's called barmbrack, or just brack for short. It's a sweet loaf that typically contains dark and golden raisins and a small hidden toy or ring. Similar to the classic king cake at Mardi Gras, tradition dictates that the person who finds the item will come into good fortune in the coming year. That is, as long as they don't choke on the trinket.
All right. You lost me at raisins.
Yeah, well. Illinois produces up to 5 times more pumpkins than any other state. The land of Lincoln has more than 15,000 acres devoted to gourd growing. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, those Illinois farms typically grow more than 500 million pounds of pumpkins annually.
500 million pounds.
Yeah, 500 million pounds. Candy corn was originally called chicken feed. The Golitz confectionery... Try that again. The Golitz Confectionery Company originally sold the candy in boxes with a rooster on the front in order to appeal to America's agricultural roots. The recipe has gone largely unchanged since the 1880s. I think it's the same batch because people just keep throwing it away and then other people pick it out. I think that was a Lewis Black joke, though, so I'm not going to try to take credit for it. I knew I heard it somewhere, but I'm pretty sure it was Lewis Black. In New York City, they throw the biggest Halloween parade in the U.S. On an average year, they draw more than 2 million spectators, including thousands of participants joining along the route. It was the brainchild of Greenwich Village resident puppeteer Ralph Lee. He just wanted to throw a whimsical walk from house to house for his kids and their pals. When the local theater got wind of it, they joined in and expanded the event over the years.
You know, the only Halloween parade I'd ever even heard of was the one that was done at the elementary school I went to.
Well, in
Like,
Brattleboro,
until then,
when I was growing up, they had the Parade of Horribles, is what they called it, and you'd get to walk in the parade with your costumes.
That's kind of cool.
And the final fact for this week, a city in Canada banned teens over 16 for trick-or-treating. Anyone over the age of 16 caught trick-or-treating in Bathurst, Canada, faces a $200 fine. The city also has a curfew for everyone, so even those under 16 aren't allowed after 8 p.m. on Halloween. These rules were instituted to stop after-dark mischief and because they had a rash of pranks, I guess. And they wanted it to stop.
The fact I just heard was Canada rules
A
Halloween
city.
unfun.
No, a city in Canada. Anyway.
Stop trick-or-treating at 16.
This is the part where he has now forgotten basically everything I've told him.
Yeah.
And we'll come back next week, and I'll give him a quiz just to see if he'll puff, puff, pass, or...
Puff, puff, fail.